comes off.
We're on the rebuild process, guys.
Half this video is just me applying Loctite to things.
We're gonna make this bigger than a 117, so that's gotta go.
One day, I'm gonna own one of them again.
The elusive taco spot.
Look at it.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Thrash and Supply channel. The last couple weeks, you guys got to see us at Daytona Bike Week, which was incredible. Juan's still in the bathroom. I figured I would start the vlog. What's up, Cole?
Just chilling, man, and ready to crack into this thing.
All right, let's go. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I didn't mention, they already know this. We bought this bike right before we left. We put 200 miles on it on a pretty rad ride through Angeles Crest, and then we flew to Daytona, and we got 4 days on more 2024 model bikes. 2 of them were street glides. I mean, the biggest thing that we could feel was these engine differences. The VVT, also the similar cam to what we have, just like the normal base engine with the standard cam. And then we also got to try the 2024 CVO ST. I think that opened our eyes a little bit, not only with like handlebar placement, foot controls were different, bike was fast, it was really fun to ride. Crazy how like light it was, and the front end could come up just like on throttle. So that kind of got us excited, I would say, about cracking into this thing. And now I'm like, I want to build the engine on this.
We gotta get this to be as peppy as the SC, if not more.
Yeah, like I want to put a big bore kit on this thing. I want to cam it. I want to make it like, I want to make it compete with the CVO ST, but from the base model bike.
I mean, if we put some big jugs on it,
With that being said, first things first, we have parts at Thrash and Supply that we already know fit this bike. For the most part, the frame, the chassis itself is very similar to the previous generation bike. We already know that the foot controls fit, from our adjustable brake arm, to our easy shift linkage, to our shortened shift arm, to our floorboards. So that's a must. You guys saw in that last vlog when we took it out for a ride that we were scraping floorboards. We were scraping floorboards right off the bat.
look at that.
3 of us, we all do not like how these boards are like rubber. People think that it adds comfort in terms of vibration. I don't notice a difference.
Yeah, and I mean, we've all ridden thousands and thousands of miles on baggers, and collectively we all agreed, like, hard mount the bushings for the risers, how to mount the stuff for the foot controls, like it all makes the experience way better. And you know, we got to spend, what, 200 miles on this bike, a couple hundred miles on the Harley bikes. We all are like just stoked, like talking on the comms like throughout the rides, like, dude, it'd be so much better if we could put our risers, our floorboards, our adjustable brake arms, like all that stuff. So
yeah, in fact, we believe you can control the bike better when they are hard mounted. The brake, the angle that you have to be at to lift your foot to reach the brake.
yeah, you can fit your whole foot underneath this thing.
Yeah. All right, then show us the other thing. You're riding the bike and you're wiggling the bars. Soft mounted risers on these bars. Also, to us, we don't like the way that when you're trying to do fast reaction maneuvers, feel the bars moving. And you even felt that on the CVO ST.
Feel that foot thing to you're pointing out, like, I don't know, when you're cornering and you go, like, moto for us, like, we always stick a foot out in the turns, but like this, you kind of have that initial reaction to do that, and the whole foot peg just moves with you.
Yeah.
Shifter too. Shifter's too high. And the ST bike was worse. Remember, the shifter was like 3 inches past the end of the foot peg. So
yeah, because the ST, the CVO ST, they put the boards, they're like mini boards they put back here, but they left the shifter in the same position, and it really was an awkward setup. So we're gonna go ahead and improve on the boards. We're gonna bring the shifter tip back with our -1 inch shift arm. We're gonna make the shifting easier with our easy shift. We're gonna put an adjustable linkage so you can set it where you want. We're gonna swap out these bars and risers. We're gonna get them in a better location.
We were all stoked on too was these risers go straight down to the triple clamp. You're not going through any plastic or anything like that. So it's a super easy install to put risers on this thing.
212, all right? So we're gonna show you guys how simple it is to put a good bar and riser setup on this bike. They've done a little bit of testing. Let's show you guys what parts we determined were gonna be good, and let's get to this build.
Get a little pullback.
9.5 pullback. We went with the 9.5 pullback. Basically, since right now this bike only has the one location to mount the risers, we wanted them to come up higher to you which then actually comes closer to you, as well as the pullback is helpful. Cole is 5'10", I'm 5'9", Juan's 5'8". So there's 3 of us all in that height range. You're gonna see how that is very comfortable for all of us.
And I had like the 2020 bagger with a non-pullback, but I had that offset plate underneath it. And this feeling already is like more natural, less stretched out. Like this is like, I'm pretty stoked that you can just throw on a good set of risers on this thing and like not have too many modifications.
So on top of the risers, we have our all new, so this mid-bend bar we've been rocking at Thrash and Supply for 10 years now, but we did have to redesign it to allow the 2024 model bagger hand controls. Juan, you can show us some of those holes and why they're gonna need these bars.
So it's got the right holes needed for the controls, as you can see on both sides. And then more importantly, it doesn't have the slot for the fly-by-wire because it's a completely different setup. So yeah, this is a turnkey ready to rock for the 24 baggers.
Yep. And so we will have bars set up for this bike in our mid bend as well as our high bend. They will be available the 1st of April in black and chrome. So what else are we opening up, Cole?
Brake setup, linkage, floorboards, this thing's gonna be dialed.
Yeah,
Like,
so another thing that we did, our adjustable brake arm has 3 locations to adjust it in. We're gonna put it in one of the lower positions, as well as I went with the -2-inch brake arm. The reason I did that is because I wanna bring the whole foot control setup a little bit closer to me, but we also do have a stock length brake arm, and you are able to adjust the brake pedal up and down with that.
we had a cop in Daytona mention that he wants to get the adjustable linkage for the cop bikes.
We did.
They're even.
Another thing that I picked out, we scraped this bike really easy. Actually kind of spooked me the first time I did it because I'm so used to riding my bike that is set up a little bit better to not scrape that it kind of came up on me. What we did is we went to Apex boards. I'm going to show you guys when you mount this board on how much smaller it is. So you can see you were scraping there. So now imagine how much more ground clearance I'm going to get from it being in a whole nother inch.
And the depth of it. These are so thick.
Yep. And you can see you're not really losing much foot area. And if you want, we have bigger boards, but I'm gonna go with these boards. The other cool thing that we're doing, so we're gonna put it on a set of floorboard risers. It's gonna raise it a 1/2 inch one.
Yep, 1/2 inch of ground clearance.
So not only is this board thinner, but then we're gonna raise it a 1/2 inch. You guys will see that in the finished product and how much that improves the ride. Boards are easy shift, makes shifting 35% easier. Our -1-inch shift arm. So the biggest thing is let's see how easy it is to throw these bars on. Let's get into that first.
All right, I'm removing the master cylinder. Super easy, just these 2 bolts. On this bike, the perch clamp is part of this assembly, so it's gonna stay there.
Nice.
So I'm gonna get this off, and then we'll switch over to the clutch side.
Make sure if you do work on your own bike, cover your tank, whether it's with a proper tank cover or even just a beach towel.
You don't wanna risk nice paint. Okay, got those screws off. There's a plug, it goes to the back. Make sure you unplug it, slides right off.
So we're gonna remove this plastic that is going around the top tree. How many bolts do we have to take off, Cole?
It's just 2 on the sides and then 1 little plastic screw that holds them together.
And there's 2 screws behind it.
So it's just these 2 on the sides, the 2 that go into the key,
Yep.
and 1 holding together, and it's just 1 clip in the middle. We had to lift the front end up to get,
So you turn the bars.
yeah.
Nice. What's
All
next,
right,
Juan?
see how it exposes the connections? Really easy right here. You just unplug them. And once they're off, we should be able to remove the handlebars.
So the cables are connected and off. And one cool thing about this install, we're gonna be using all the stock cables. Stock clutch, stock brake, and stock hand control, like wiring and all that. So it's gonna make this install even easier. No bleeding of the brakes, no swapping of the clutch cable. Uh-oh. Juan, no power
No
tools.
power tools.
Well, we're almost done anyways. We use the fast drum on these. Oh, Harley bars.
Just like that. It also helps, usually there's like the factory stickers here that say the part number. I like to take those off because it cleans up the look, and it also helps slide the cables through. Just like that, that side's out. We'll have to take the cover off.
Gotcha.
Just some stock grounding that go to the stock risers. So probably just take this off and re-ground it to the same ground that hasn't gone on the clamps.
Gotcha. So there is a ground wire to the stock risers, like he said. So what he's doing is he's going to just hook it back up to the top tree. So what's going on? So that comes off.
Yep, and just like that.
Slides off. So then, is that the throttle? No, that's the clutch. All right.
It's still part of.
So it's interesting. Yeah. So the grips on this bike are vulcanized to a set of kind of like plastic throttle tubes on both sides. So our current grips would maybe work on the left side, but obviously we don't have a throttle tube for this bike yet. Look at that throttle tube.
It's kind of weird, huh? It only uses this too.
Yeah, interesting. So the throttle assemblies, oh wow. So this is what's actuating
The throttle.
the throttle. I don't know if you guys have seen and know about all the previous models. Obviously going from a carbureted bike that pulled cables, a push pull. Well, first of all, olden days only usually had a pull cable. Then they went to a push pull.
Much safer.
Dual cable. In about 2016, 17, they started putting throttle by wire on the Harleys. And that assembly was something that went inside of the handlebar.
Yeah, it was a sensor that went into here, had some notches, and
They went away from that. That's why we have all new bars for this bike. And so then you can see now the throttle is actually being read by this module that's plugged in right there. So as you can see, when Juan pulled this whole assembly out, oh wow, interesting. This is the new throttle tube. So again, we don't have an aftermarket throttle tube yet. I don't think there's one on the market. We could probably sit here and cut these grips off at some level, but sometimes cutting vulcanized grips off, it's like pretty
messy.
gnarly. So today we're just gonna leave these stock grips on. We'll work on something in the future for that.
you have it. Bars out.
Lay those down on the carpet and then we can do that like kind of matchup.
Working on getting the stock clamps off to put the new risers on.
So explain this to me. You guys found it easier to do the riser swap by removing the top clamp?
Yeah, instead of trying to fight and get a socket underneath, which you can, I've done it, but it's gonna be much easier and cleaner if we just take the top clamp off. You're gonna see right now. We got this off. Gotta just do the 3 pinch bolts. On this bike, this bolt actually does set the preload on the bearing.
Okay.
Make sure you support your front wheel when you're doing this,
Okay.
because it will want to slide out.
Okay.
But we're almost there.
We're gonna get this bike done pretty fast and the reward is gonna be tacos.
Dude.
PS and taco. So it's just the 3 pinch bolts, center one that Juan was talking about, that actually holds the front end on.
Yep.
Just comes off that easy.
So you got that off, but then wiggle the wheel, Juan, because what are you doing right now?
I'm holding it.
So you're holding it, it's on the ground. So as compared to the FLH models that we've done before, this kind of stayed preloaded in there.
Right, so it's completely different setup now. That top screw, that the Torx bolt,
Yep.
holds it all together. So
Okay.
you just have to make sure you're holding your wheel, or you tie it down to something.
Okay, so right now, if you let it go, what's gonna happen?
It's rolling. See that? Let's see if we can connect the back somehow. You said no power tools, but you didn't say nothing about air tools.
Okay, you're gonna take the soft bushings out. Yeah, let's check those out. What do we got going here?
They're so soft and gummy, dude.
Mushy, dude. I feel like they just get worse too. Even after 200 miles, they were like even worse.
All right, so I just wanted so you guys could see roughly the height that we're going with our 9.5 pullbacks and our mid-bend bars as compared to the stock ones. So it actually looks like we're going a tad bit lower than this setup. But it's gonna be coming to you because if you go like that, so it's a tad bit lower and a little bit
Closer to you.
closer to you. So that is why you are able to use these stock cables. So, and you're gonna get a lot more control out of something like this rather than having the flex of tall bars, super tall ape hanger-ish bars. So I wanted to show you guys the stock bushings. Basically, you can see there's this metal tube in the middle of them, and then you have rubber on the outside that is also got these channels in it.
Look at the stock rubber. Like that is like mush. Like even with the metal insert in there, that is like no go. That's,
So they allow like a gap right there. So then when you tighten it down, it kind of mushes a little bit. And then again, but you can see with these channels, they're easily movable. And so what are we putting in there?
putting in some solid ones. So top.
So we have those on our website. And what we do is we supply you with 2 silver and 2 black, and then you can decide which one you want, which
We're gonna
way.
go black up top.
Another thing that we did, and people are gonna ask this.
Oh yeah, the hardware. Being
What
a
was
new bike.
what was the stock hardware? Okay, why did we not use this stock hardware?
Because with the solid bushing, it kind of makes the head of the nut kind of protrude out a little bit.
Okay.
And hits the locking mechanism. So Juan and I machined this down on the lathe. It's not too much taken off the top of it. So I
So
think
with that being said, we realized that we needed different bolts. We will have a set of bolts on our website that will work with your 24 model bagger.
Yeah.
So be sure to look for that if you're gonna do our bar bar and riser setup.
A low pro, like just standard nut will work just fine. It just, we didn't have any in the toolbox while we were here, so we just made do with what we had.
Doing the wiring the controls on our new bars, and once Cole's done, I'm done. We'll be able to throw this on the bike here in no time.
I don't know if it's what you guys did before I got here, but I always like to put this top clamp on first, just to make sure everything's like straight and true to itself before cinch those bottom riser bolts down.
Nice. Here, let me help you out.
Man, I was looking for that.
Yeah, it was right in front of you.
You didn't turn it to tighten for me though.
So you Loctited these?
Loctited these, everything's straight.
Oh, dude, what do you got going? You already wired them?
Yeah, bro, it's easy with these bars.
We're ready to throw these on. I need a second set of hands. You want to hand that over to Raven?
Yeah.
Wheel needs to go forward, backwards.
Take it easy on my bike.
Take it easy.
So it's probably easier if you actually take the front wheel off and the forks off, because then everything would be really light, but you can do it this way. Obviously you need a second set of hands.
We're going for speed. Boom.
We're on the rebuild process, guys. 255. So we've really been at it about 40 minutes. We're not gonna have to switch any cables. So that's gonna make this go by really fast, especially as we start to assemble it. What torque spec did they call out for that? Are you doing?
It's the same as the last bikes. Go to 14, back it off, then back to 7.
Gotcha.
I'm ready, brother.
That easy, yeah? Oh, you are ready? You just drop them both.
Well, this one is the last one that goes here.
But what? Why didn't you don't want to do it? Because what?
No, once we gotta set the, and this one clamps it down.
What do we got going, boys?
Some anti-seize on the hardware, just to make sure it has a proper torque spec when you're tightening it.
Hold on, let me count. I don't really like to go off of the knurl. Like, it's a rough, but I like to go off the bends up against the riser.
You'll see the gauges and the screen.
At the 9.5 pullback, it's nice because being 5'9", I really like, if we are going to the stock location, I need this setup as close as possible to me. The 9.5, as it's going up, it's coming to me because it's at the angle of the fork. And then as well as we get the pullback of the riser, as well as then the sweep of the handlebar. Currently a comfortable setup, and I'm just on a stock seat right now. The stock seat's not bad on this bike, to be honest.
Am I good to start plugging all this stuff back in?
Yes, sir. Plug away.
All right, so bars are tightened to where I like them.
Putting the brake master cylinder back on.
Sudden change. We are putting the stock Torx bit in, which is cool and all, but I can't stand how you do a couple bar swaps on it and they start to get chewed up and then the silver starts showing. And we're gonna go see if we have any ARP in stock to swap it out real quick.
Just turned on and you can show the gauges now.
Yeah, it's on. Grab these out of our inventory, ARP hardware. We are going to be replacing them for the stock torque bits. We will have also in the handlebar perch clamp section a quad set. So 4 of these so that you can also do this for your bike. Sweet ARP or crusty black Torx bit. All 4 ARPs are snug. Now I can set these controls. Kind of hard to say. Sometimes you set it, then you go ride like 100 miles. You're like, I wish they were a little lower. This is a good rough start.
ARP's really cleaned it up.
Oh, we're 3:13. 61 minutes. No.
Here's and just like that.
Okay. 3:17.
What time did we
1
start?
hour and 5 minutes flat.
Yeah.
And we kind of like lollygagged when we started. So basically an hour job.
Looks way better, feels way better.
Everything is plug and play. All the electrical works, brake line, the clutch cable. You didn't have to cut or drill anything in the plastics. All plug and play. Really happy with that. Here's the stance when I'm sitting on it. I'm able to kind of sit in the pocket. The nice thing I like also about this setup is you can see my hands are nicely protected from the fairing. They're directly behind it. So for the most part, the wind is going to go right around my hands.
Honestly, compared to stock, this bagger and even the CVO-ST, like after riding it for like even 10 miles, you're like, oh, I feel a little stretched out. You look like you're even more comfortable than that.
Yeah.
I think mostly because the bars are a little thinner.
Yeah.
Like it almost gives you like more of a natural like feeling on this.
That was the first half of the journey. Second half of the journey is getting these foot controls dialed in.
Yeah, OCD, dude. I can't stand the fingerprints on the fresh chrome.
I would say the little bit more difficult side is the brake side, so I'd like to hit that first.
All right, Cole, you do the brake side, I'll do the other side, and we'll reconvene 15 and 20.
No, let's lift this thing up.
I like to make the job harder on myself, actually.
Put the strap on. Getting this floorboard off. I got the tools. Ta-da! One floorboard coming off.
You're gonna save the shoulder bolt that you used with the stock floorboard. You're gonna reuse that.
So one thing to note on these is that, see how it has a slot? So that has a slot, so it fits in there. The nose slot goes with the nose slot, and there is an orientation. You just have to make sure it follows that profile, because if you stick it the other way, there's gonna be an edge there. Boom. Be careful with these fins because they're very sharp. So you don't want this to slide off because it could slice your finger.
I've already removed the right floorboard and I am removing the brake arm assembly. Can be easier if you take off brake reservoir. Kind of lets you open it all up.
Taking this off as an assembly. We won't be using any of this.
Just gonna snug these up because in case these moved any don't line up perfectly, we can still have some tolerance before tightening them all down. Woo!
I despise these clips. Harley's been using them on their levers and some of their foot pegs. I've never been able to find a set of pliers that actually works. And it's not that gnarly, I'm getting it, but I just wish there was an easier way. I just pulled this clip off because we're gonna change the rear pegs. Oh. All right, so I'll assemble it later. Now I can just push this in there. Here we go. Make sure it's all seated in the groove.
If we loosen this,
We're good to go.
Putting on these floorboards, brother.
I have to move this out of the way, but brake arm's out.
We can do low.
That thing was clearly designed by an aerospace guy because I remember putting that on for the first time. I was like, how did you guys come up with this?
So now that I have both stainless clevises set on the passenger mount, I'm going to put the foot pegs. I like to use some blue Loctite. I like to make sure it's level. Hold the peg and get a good torque on it. All right, Juan is working on the adjustable brake arm. Let's see what you got, Juan.
Pull these off the old brake arm because you need these, the bushings. We're gonna transfer them over to our hub, and we're gonna put it in the lowest setting, and we're gonna throw it on the bike. All right, it's ready to throw this on.
We got this. I was like, oh.
I'm working on the shift assembly, but I kind of want to like sit on the bike and get it as close to what I like, and then we can fine tune it with the linkage once I'm already on it. So I want to put the shifter tip on it before I put it on the bike. So I went ahead and chose our Speedway shifter. I actually like setting it to where you're using the round part to shift, and then this just kind of like looks cool. You're always going to want to Loctite your shifter tip on. Let's put some
it's over here.
Loctite on it. Juan needs the Loctite. Loctite everything on your Harley. Look at that, made in USA. So then I'm gonna kind of set it. I know I'm gonna like it like in that range.
I am doing the skid plate first. It's much easier if you do this first.
Yeah. Check this shifter or to this shifter. We're going an inch closer. We do offer the stock length. I kind of wanted to bring all of this a little bit closer to me, make the bike feel a little bit more compact. And I'm not like sacrificing anything in terms of road tripping. Still have boards on this bike. Still am able to rest my foot out past it. Just that when I am ready to shift, I don't have to reach for the shifter as much. So I'm not gonna like clamp this down. I'm just gonna set it where I think, and then we'll see.
Like half this video is just me applying Loctite to things.
So basically to set the height, there's those 3 marks. I don't know if the camera could see them. Factory preset is kind of random. So we put it on the lowest setting, and then you're gonna adjust this once it's on the bike. So I'm taking this off right now. And I won't even throw it on until the hub's on the bike. Cotter pin. Ooh. There it is in here, which might be tricky as well.
Looking real good. We basically got the shift side done. I didn't tighten the shift arm on there because I want to sit on the bike, make sure we have it on the right spline before we micro adjust it with the linkage. You're working on the brake arm. 3:45 basically. Our new vlog's about to drop, so I might go grab a laptop so we can watch it while we finish this thing up real quick.
I don't know if you can see, but I need to get this pen inside that tiny little hole there. There isn't that much room.
There, dude, now the legs stick together.
How'd you do that? I tried to do that, couldn't get it. Oh, dude, first try, you gonna make me look bad like that? Bro, Cole's an expert.
Spent a lot of time around some really good mechanics in my day.
So there's this one taco spot that I've been wanting to go to. I have yet to try it. Every time, like on the vlog, we've taken you guys there at least 3 or 4 times, I think, Juan, and tried to go there. And it's open every time I swing by in my car, and I'm like, oh, we got to go by this one. I have my wife swinging by there around 5 o'clock to let us know if they're setting up or not. So then we'll have a good idea of who's open tonight. Because I want good, marinated, slow roasted pastor that's just...
I already put Loctite on these bolts. One cool thing that I use right now, scan this QR code. Boom. Foot controls, bars, risers. So I use this one right now for the brake arm. That's pretty cool. Talks about the settings and stuff. Top hole, we even use it.
Is it you explaining it?
Yeah, it's a video of me explaining it.
That's why he's promoting it, because he likes to watch himself on camera. More Loctite.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so one last thing. Let's start cleaning up before we like lower this thing down. So I started to remove the big 117. We're gonna make this bigger than a 117, so that's gotta go. And second of all, we're gonna grab the Thrasher one and throw a Thrasher one on there.
Next to the orange toolbox.
So I got the new cover as well as I did get ARP hardware. So reuse the stock gasket. Sure. I like how the fins match that. It's kind of
The chrome looks so good. Right? The chrome looks so good.
Yeah, it's freaking sick.
All right, thrashing vlog's happening. We just got the last bolts in. Come on, boys. Let's clean it up. Let's lower it. Let's set the shifter. We're done.
Vlog's going live. What are you doing? Put down your tools.
Back this joint. Just started. There it is, Juan.
Look at that, pop right in.
Got the whole squad wrenching, brother. I think we're good.
We good?
Yeah, I think we're, I don't think we need much more. We're done in about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. What was that?
Well, we got a little distracted.
Yeah, we got distracted. I think realistically, we were to hammer down, we could do it in 2 hours.
217.
417.
417. 2 hours.
So less than 2 hours, really. We went.
And we were, like you said, we turned the vlog on. We took a couple breaks here and there. Cole's buttoning it up. In 2 hours, we were able to do bars, risers, all the cables worked, and then we were able to do foot controls. We put the floorboard riser on it, so not only are these skinnier and thinner, but they're also raised up higher, so ground clearance has been increased. We put cool matching passenger pegs on it, adjustable linkage. We put our easy shift. This makes it 35% easier to shift. And then we put our -1-inch shift arm. This was actually derived, the easy shift, the idea came when we designed the -1-inch shift arm. It became harder to shift. So then we needed to design a linkage that changed the leverage and made this easier to shift. And then we also put the chrome Speedway shifter tip on it. I really like how that looks. You still get a smooth shift and a smooth shift up and down, but then you get a cool kind of logo on the front to back. You guys remember the old brake pedal was somewhere up here. We've now lowered it. It's more in the front. You still get the whole floorboard to cruise. My feet would be. So if I was on a ride, I'm actually gonna probably kind of ride with my foot on the brake. Very similar to how I would just be ready to attack. Kind of how I like to personally have my fingers on the front brake when I'm riding, just so that there's never a second I have to wait. I'm just kind of ready to go. If I am cruising on a trip and I don't want to use the brake, I still have front of the board to kind of open my legs up on both sides. You can see that from over here. Able to open my legs up both sides like that, as well as with these boards, I am able to chill back. So I'm kind of somewhat in like a mid-control position while using the rear of the board. So you'll find when I'm road tripping, I'll be road tripping from this angle, I'll be this angle, and then there's a lot of times I'll actually kind of set back, stretch out. So I'm kind of all over the bike when I'm hitting 500-mile days, just to be able to kind of keep moving around. But stoked, dude. Look at that brake. Easier, look how grippy this is. Damn near ripping my shoes. Another thing that Cole wanted to point out is there's even more accessories for our Apex floorboards. We have an extension that you can add to it, as well as these aren't our only floorboard options. We do have bigger sets of floorboards. We have floorboards that are adjustable front to back. So check out our website. We do have more of that on the site that you can use on this bike. Look at this smile on my face. Funny, a lot of people on the Daytona vlogs, they kept saying, oh, you only have to push the button to start. You don't have to hold it down. Old habits. Like I started to realize that like right when we got this bike. We have FXRs over there that are carbureted that you like literally have to hold on until it starts. So many other bikes that we ride that, like we talked about earlier, there's like the old instinctual habits when we get on a Harley, where the on switch is, where everything is. Those are still kind of ingrained, and I'm used to having to hold it down. The first 2024 that we've all ridden, or we're about to all ride, that has a setup that I think we're all gonna agree is better.
Exactly what I wanted to do when we were out in Daytona. I wanted to get back and start wrenching on it. Now we just gotta put a pipe on it.
Wow. Hey, it's push to start.
Not as loud either. Way better.
All right.
So much happier with this in Daytona.
Yeah.
I know I just pulled the Carbon ST in the showroom, but Cole's never ridden it.
And then I guess I could ride the Two-Face Dyna.
Whatever you want. What do you want to
No,
ride?
I'll ride the DX. I want to ride the DX.
The DX looked like you needed to put something back on it or something.
I'll do it really quick.
All right, let's pull the bikes up. Pull that thing up in the front. Always fun pulling this bike out. We have it right now in the showroom, which, by the way, everybody, we're doing soft opening already. We are open from Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And we will adjust the hours, and we'll have some weekend days open. But right now, we're kind of just getting comfortable, making sure we have everything we need in here. We are in Moore Park, California at 5555 Tech Circle. Cole just got off that bike, probably weighs like 700 pounds, 800 pounds, or I don't even know. This thing's 565, so watch, just get on it and push it out.
Well, just pushing this thing around the R&D room and back into here, there's no weight to this thing.
Yeah, this bike you'll actually be able to wheelie. Just so you guys know, Cole can't wheelie a Harley. This bike he will be able to wheelie. Out of all these bikes, you got 111 FXR.
The DX, bro. The DX is that one's scary to ride. Has a lot of horsepower. The brakes aren't the best. Other bikes are taken apart. I'm not riding Jake's Jalopy. So the DX. This has our new bracket. Just came back from anodizing.
Nice. So we just designed a bracket, our whole shot risers, so you can run the original dual gauge, or really just any gauge that's the stock.
So we just got a freshie on there because they had a prototype.
And look, a prototype orange handlebar bag.
Oh.
Yeah, this is what we're used to. Watch. These are a couple things you got to do on this bike. So I got to make sure the gas is on. Pull the choke. Look at that. Prime it a little bit. Push run and watch. If I go like this, watch what happens. That's it. So you gotta hold it. See that? This little 88-inch with the Mikuni carb and the pipe. There is something special about this bike, no matter what.
It's my favorite bike. One day, I'm gonna own one of them again.
I ripped the reflectors off the front forks. No, dude, they weren't even stuck on that good. Look, there's like dirt under them. Look, straight up, there's like a bug right there. I have my special detective driving by. There it is.
It's there.
It's there. Trompo's already ripping. 520 right now. We know the Trompo's already going. Over at the new spot, we've never been here before. Tried at least 3 or 4 times. We've tried to go to this taco spot. We've been wanting to try it. It's hit or miss when they're there. Tonight, they are there. We're getting it. Cole, you get to ride the 131 for a little bit. I get to hop on the bike with all the new mods, feel that. And you get to ride the DX and kind of have a little warm heart from when you used to have a DX.
I want to take the Carbon ST home, but also I don't want that kind of responsibility sitting in my garage.
You better make sure your garage locked.
So I don't know if you guys remember, but the shirt I was wearing.
Oh, dude.
That's dropping soon, as well as these gloves will be dropping the same day with it. Checkered, black and yellow, super sick. So be on the lookout. If you haven't signed up for our email blast already, please do. The only person to burn their shoe on this exhaust was your cousin. Just be careful because like the way these mids are designed, they're very close to the pipe.
Is it normal for the check engine light and ABS light to be on?
We deleted the ABS, so it's just the light stays on, and the check engine light's on because they want to make sure that you check that the engine's there, but you're gonna feel 131 inches.
Pretty dry. I don't see any gas in there.
No, I never got a chance to really pin it.
Ride it like you stole it. I'll be there to get the shot.
Can I ride it the rest of the way? Can I ride it the rest of the way? Okay.
Maybe me and Juan do a little switch off so he can feel the bike with the bars, boards, stuff like that. But it feels good. Starting to feel more like a bike we've owned. I think again, the place that we're really gonna feel it is the canyons when we start leaning it over. These are sick with the print on the fingertips.
It helps grab.
It pulls the credit card out nicely.
There you go.
I'll let him ride it, but I won't let him fill it. I cannot stand that Juan leaves the bike in gear when he stops. It pisses me off. So I'm gonna let Juan rip to the taco spot from here. Cole will get to ride it home tonight, so we'll all end up getting a little circle on it.
Elusive taco spot.
They started not believing me that there was a taco guy here.
See the wheelie?
Hey, that was the biggest wheelie I've seen you do.
That's second gear too, dude.
Grease boiled potatoes in there, dude.
That's my jam.
They're good. They're good. Yes. Crisping up.
Oh, dude.
Sample me off. I'm too hungry, dude.
Dude. Oh, it's insane. Dude.
Hey, brother.
I might just get a plate of this.
Yeah.
Lick it.
3 quesatacos.
¿De qué carne?
Al pastor. 2 tacos al pastor.
Yeah.
Five tacos?
Yeah.
I was gonna get 3 queso tacos thinking that was a lot.
I think I'm gonna get 4 tacos. 2 queso tacos and 2 regular tacos.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
What you got? I thought you got 3.
It's fine. I'm cool with 2 and 2.
All right, Juan. Looks like they came stock, so I gotta go mod them up. Gotta mod them. Look at that, dude. You done? You got it dialed?
I'm pretty dialed. Right there.
Ooh.
Oh my
Dang. You guys all went queso taco first, huh?
Yeah.
Here, I'll go OG taco. Look at that, guys. Seriously?
Insane. These are the best ones I've had.
Amazing. Oh my God, dude, the bite of pineapple is so good. All right, Juan's powered through it. I'm halfway through, but I'm totally savoring it because I'm like, this is really good. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks since we had tacos.
I've only been to like 3 really places since I've been on the channel, but this beats Travis's place for sure.
So right now, this one's kind of leaderboard. Corner of Mulholland Drive and the 101. So I'm totally bummed my potato rolled off my plate and I've been waiting the whole meal for that thing to cool down.
I mean, if you cut off that part, the al pastor were so good from the trumpo here. Like the flavor and everything was just so tasty. Here, I preferred the stock one over the queso taco because I could have that much al pastor. Like in the other places, like you want the mixture of the cheese and al pastor. It kind of like all sums up to something really good. But here, al pastor was just freaking on fire. It was so good that I just wanted to keep eating it. So I prefer the stock taco here.
All right, guys, there you have it. Thank you for hanging out for the second part of our day. And I know Juan was just super excited to get his hands into the 2024 model bike, especially after our trip in Daytona. I know that Cole even did a little bit of product testing on that bike earlier in the week. He tested a couple different risers, a couple different setups. This is what we landed on. This is what I think we all enjoyed the most.
I'm just stoked to put some more miles on it and keep the upgrades rolling. But I'm really happy with where it's at. It reminds me a lot of what's on my bike, color wise, position wise. So I'm really comfortable. I feel that, yeah, stoked with the progress we made. Only like 2 hours too.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Think about how easy that was. No clutch cable change, no brake cable change. All the wires were the same, nothing to like really cut. It was all bolt on. It was all very simple, super easy. The
Especially
bars,
the clamps and bars are just like, what, an hour? A little over an hour to put on, and it was like night and day difference, like right out the box.
And here we are on, I think Cole's like 3rd or 4th taco trip with us.
Yeah.
And we're already hitting peak status.
These are up there, dude. Honestly,
I just waited for you guys to like figure out where the good spots were.
Yeah, he came in once we got it all dialed. Now these came out swinging. I'm stoked we tried them out because they're really good. 100%.
We will have all the parts that we use listed in the description below. We'll have all the parts listed. These are all available. The all new bars, if you're watching this, they'll definitely be available 1st of April. So again, guys, thanks for hanging out. And hey, on the next one, we're gonna start tearing into the CVO 117, get the cam done, and go to racing. Even bring this black bike out to race right here.
That's right, baby. See you later.
Peace out.